now for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, PHS. Attention seniors, on Thursday at the start of period 4, we will be taking our class photo outside. To maintain social distance, we will take it in 2 groups and edit the photos together.
Portland High School's Gay Straight Alliance will have our first virtual meeting of the year on Thursday, November 12th at 3:45. The Google Meet link can be found in the PHS Student Google Classroom. For more information, please see Ms. Bohannon in the Counseling Center or email Ms. Miller.
The following colleges will be visiting PHS virtually. Today, St. Bonaventure University will have a meeting at 10 a.m. and St. Michael's College at 1:30. Students can sign up through their Naviance accounts. If you have any questions, please reach out to Mrs. Henry in the guidance office.
Happy birthday to Alexandra Connolly. Tomorrow's birthdays are Shannon Farley and Kendall Prince. If you see them, wish them a happy birthday.
Tomorrow, November 11th, is Veterans Day. Veterans Day is a day to set aside to honor all who have served in the United States military in peace as well as wartime. While many Veterans Day events are not happening this year, including the PHS U.S. History Veterans Day program, the Social Studies Department asks you to take a moment to think about those who have sacrificed for this country and thank a veteran. Please enjoy this brief video on veterans.
Soldiers from wars both old and new march down city streets. Flags hang from homes, businesses, even car antennas. Ceremonies remember those who dutifully served their nation. It's Veterans Day, or Remembrance Day, as it's known in much of the world, a time to honor members of the armed forces. And it all began in a railroad car with a document to end the war to end all wars. World War I, also known as the Great War, shocked the global community with its unprecedented toll in human life. Untold millions were killed. Germany was running low on manpower and supplies, so they agreed to sign an armistice, or truce, in the French commander Ferdinand Foch's private railcar. On the 11th hour, on the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, all was quiet on the Western Front. The fighting had ended. Exactly 1 year later, President Woodrow Wilson decreed that Americans should observe a moment of silence at 11 a.m. to remember the armistice and to embrace the peace. Other Allied nations commemorated the peaceful anniversary as well. In England and Canada, citizens wore paper poppies. Poppies had become a symbol of the armistice. The poem Flanders Field described a one-time battlefield. In Flanders Field, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row. In America, the nation's first unknown soldier was laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery on Armistice Day, 1921. He was a casualty of the Great War. Since that first memorial, other unknown soldiers from America's wars have been interred in the tomb. And it's become tradition for the president or one of his representatives to lay a wreath on the monument every November 11th. A resolution was passed in 1926 inviting all Americans to remember Armistice Day and the soldiers who fought so hard for peace. The idea caught on. By 1938, the day was marked with so many ceremonies and parades, Congress made it a legal holiday, giving people the day off work. After World War II and the Korean War, Americans wanted to open up the holiday to include not just World War I veterans, but all who served in combat. In 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower, a World War II vet himself, legally changed the U.S. Armistice Day to Veterans Day, honoring those who served in all American wars. For a brief time starting in 1971, Congress moved the holiday to the fourth Monday in October, giving Americans a 3-day weekend. But most people rejected the idea. The traditional date of November 11th, the anniversary of the Great War's ceasefire, was too historically important to forget. President Ford reversed the law in 1975, returning Veterans Day back to its rightful date. Over the decades, the holiday has changed with the times. Originally, it was a call for world peace. Then in the U.S., it became a day to remember war veterans. Today, Veterans Day is set aside to honor not just those who served in war, but also those who have served their nation in peace.
You'll be up. Ready? Yep. Go.
You're on.
Sports. The boys beat North Branford yesterday 11-0, winning their first game of the Shoreline Tournament. And the girls have a game away tomorrow against Coggins. And now over to senior and teacher superlatives.
We have Jack Morin and Cam Latronica for Best Bromance.
Next, we have Lila Delaronde and Grace Darby for the dynamic duo.
The cutest couple that never was is TJ Reddington and Carly Graves.
Most school spirit is Noah Charpentier and Alyssa Young.
The most contagious laugh is Brandon Lockwood and Jesse Cardona.
The class clowns are Jack Morin and Caitlin Feldman.
The life of the party is Cam Latronica and Paige Warshaw.
The most changed is Jaden Killam and Christina Russick.
The most likely to be late to graduation is Nate Brooks and Sydney Carlson.
The best smile is Mason Pearsall and Haley Carlson.
The best hair is Sage Watrous and Sam Myers.
The most athletic is Cody Daggett and Carly Graves.
Most likely to be mistaken for a freshman is Nate DeSalvo and Anna Theodosopoulos.
Most likely to win the lottery and lose the ticket is Sam Young and Mackenzie Wilk.
The worst case of senioritis is Mike Couture and Kennedy Abrams.
The friendliest is Justin Rank and Ava Beeler.
The funniest is Peter McNichol and Jade Kim.
The class mom and dad is Nick Benishevsky and Veronica Candro.
The best dressed is Eamon Pineda and Hallie Corley.
The most competitive is Jackson Decker and Sam Dumais.
The most likely to win a Grammy, Oscar, or Emmy is Zach Thomas and Dorothy Black.
And now for the faculty superlatives. The chillest teachers are Mr. Borg and Mrs. Favale.
The funniest teachers are Mr. Nolte and Miss Pizzone.
The best advice and wisdom is Mr. Murphy and Miss Risley.
The best stare is Mr. Kukuchka and Mrs. Novak.
Most likely to be called mom and dad are Mr. Brecklin and Mrs. Favale.
The best dressed are Mr. Jones and Mrs. Larson.
Most likely to not give homework is Mr. Borg and Miss Terry.
The most likely to assign a project and have it due the next day is Mr. Kukuchka and Miss Choquette.
The most likely to be mistaken for a student is Mr. Kenny and Mrs. Laverty.
The most school spirit is Mr. Bernard and Mrs. Stotler.
The most likely to win America's Got Talent is Mr. Tucker and Mrs. Novak.
And lastly, the teacher BFFs are Mr. Kukuchka and Mr. Cunningham.
Pictures will be scheduled and taken in the coming weeks.
That's all we have. Stay classy, PHS.